What's going on, housemates? I'm recording this video shortly after Arsenal's 3-0 win against Dinamo Zagreb at the Emirates. And it's a massive win because it secures us a top 8 finish in the league table of the Champions League, meaning that we avoid the playoff matches to qualify for the round of 16. And we all know what that means. It opens up the opportunity for a warm weather training trip to Dubai. And Arsenal always comes back looking like the best team in the world after that. So hopefully we can organize that. I'm sure Mikel Arteta is already getting the trip itinerary planned as we speak. But in all seriousness, a really solid win, an expected win, of course. Dinamo Zagreb has had a pretty average Champions League campaign. They hadn't played a game in exactly a month. They'd been playing friendlies, but, they hadn't played a competitive game in a while. It wasn't always the prettiest of games, it has to be said, but that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So, starting with our starting 11, it was almost identical to the starting 11 that I went with, not to toot my own horn. The only difference was Zinchenko starting at left back, but Lewis Skelly got a rest. It seems like it was nothing more than a rest because he's played so many minutes. Jakub Kiwior finally got a long overdue start. We had a midfield, Jorginho stepping in and Partey going to the bench, and then a front three of Havertz, Martinelli, and Raheem Sterling. We started so strongly, and it's been ages, it feels like, since we saw Arsenal scoring as early as they did, and that was our earliest Champions League goal since Yaya Sanogo in 2014, apparently. So big throwback there, getting a Sanogo shout, name drop. But yeah, the goal was beautiful. Martinelli had an excellent game, and it was so great to see him, looking so confident. He played a really great cross in with his left foot, beat his defender. Havertz had a really intelligent, delicate, one-touch assist. He's falling backwards, but he plays it perfectly into the path of Declan Rice, who, puts it away with really great technique. He sort of slices through it on the half volley, and we're up early. It was his first ever Champions League goal, so much deserved for Declan Rice. Such a quality player, one of the best in the world at what he does. And, we did take the foot off the gas a little bit, I think, in the first half. After that, we still had some positive signs, I think, in the final third, but it might have been more down to Dinamo Zagreb being a pretty poor side, no disrespect, more than us looking brilliant. Really, the biggest talking point for me in the first half was how sloppy we were defensively. We saw a mistake from Zinchenko, from Kiwior, from Jorginho, and from Timber, none of which were capitalized on by Dinamo Zagreb. Against a better team, maybe we would have paid, but we didn't. So yeah, more sloppiness defensively, and we didn't create many clear-cut chances. I think there were a couple times where Kai Havertz and Raheem Sterling should have shot earlier than they did, and it's sort of more of the same from them. A bit frustrating that they have that hesitancy still when it comes to, shooting, period. But a great half from Martinelli. And yeah, we go into the halftime break up 1-0. And the second half was a little bit underwhelming. Dinamo Zagreb started to see more of the ball. They had some possession. They didn't really do much with it, but we looked a little bit flat. And that was discouraging for sure. But, around the 66-minute mark, I think it was, Martinelli plays another beautiful cross in, and Kai Havertz heads home and gives us a 2-0 lead. And so that's a goal and assist for Kai Havertz, which is massive. And I think it just goes to show again that he is a great squad player to have. There's no secret that we still need to sign a striker, someone who's going to score consistently week in, week out, and a player who isn't so dependent on confidence like Kai Havertz is. But, after his goal against Aston Villa at the weekend and a goal and assist tonight, with him being a confidence player, that's massive for him. So hopefully he can continue building on this momentum, because we so desperately need him, given our lack of activity in the transfer window. And, it's hard to sign a top striker in January anyways. So really positive for him. Skipping all the way to, well, it was great to see Ethan Nwaneri get on the pitch. He was out for a couple weeks through injury, but he looked really strong coming on. There was that one moment where he shoved the Dinamo player off the ball and kept it in play. And it might have been on the same sequence or shortly after, where he played a perfect cross, like inch perfect cross to Declan Rice. Rice should have scored, if not at least put it on frame. But Nwaneri looks so sharp. And obviously, given that Saka's out for at least a couple more months, it's it's incredible that we have Nwaneri back because we so desperately need a left-footed player on the right wing. So that was a huge positive. At the very end, Trossard got another assist. And it was Martin Odegaard who scored. It was not the prettiest of goals from him. I think it was really scored with his thigh. But again, late run into the box in the dying moments, and a much needed goal from open play and a goal in general from Martin Odegaard. I think his last goal was a penalty, if I remember correctly, and he just hasn't been in goal scoring form all season long. So really good for him to get that goal. And what I liked more than the goal itself was the fact that it meant that Nathan Butler-Oyedeji was able to make his debut for the club. 22 years old. He's been to the club since he was 8 years old, and it really is, he's earned that, and I'm really happy for him. It's a shame that he didn't get to come on a little bit sooner. It was looking like he might not have come on, and that would have been devastating for him to be waiting at the halfway line, only to not come on. But he came on. Wish he got a couple touches on the ball, but he'll still be over the moon that he was able to make his professional debut for his boyhood club. So yeah, look, it was, at the end of the day, great win. For me, another massive talking point is the fact that it's now, that marks 4 clean sheets in our 4 home matches this season in the Champions League. And that's something to be proud of, and that's something that we can't overlook, because it's not easy to keep clean sheets in the Champions League. We didn't have the most difficult of opponents necessarily, but it doesn't change the fact that you still have to be switched on, and you never know what you're going to get on a European night, right? It's a different atmosphere, different expectations, different level of opponent at times. And so, yeah, the icing on the cake was that Man City crumbled yet again. They had a 2-0 lead in the second half against PSG, and they conceded 3 goals in less than 30 minutes. And so they're now on the outside looking in. Even if they win their last game, they're going to be relying on results from other teams to get to the playoff round, to get into the round of 16. So yeah, nothing but positives really. If we're going to nitpick, not great to see how flat we were in the start of the second half, even, for much of the first half, and how sloppy we were defensively. But at the end of the day, Dinamo Zagreb didn't really have much of a sniff. You forgot that David Raya was on the pitch for the most part. And, between the Havertz goal and assist, Martinelli looking really sharp, Trossard yet again with another goal contribution, Odegaard scoring another academy debut, and a clean sheet, only positive things to write home about. So I hope you enjoyed that game, because, it felt overdue maybe for us to have a win like that, where it was relatively straightforward at the end of the day. So yeah, I will be back with you soon to speak about, hopefully speak about some transfer rumors or a signing, because still looking grim on that front, but I don't want to focus too much on that right now. And I'll be back to speak with you soon about our game at Wolves at the weekend. So as always, thank you for watching, housemates. Keep an eye out for my TikTok. I'm starting to tweet again, so join me on Twitter as well, or X as they call it now. And I'll be back with another video on here soon. So thank you again, housemates. Come on, you Gunners, and peace, everybody.